So some people, just because I'm going crazy with theories, think that I'm looking up the fucking story. Why the fuck would I ever do that? That ruins the game for me. You know? Why would I ever look up anything like that? That's stupid. I don't want to ruin the game for me by looking up a story or, looking something up or whatever. I've never done that in my life. Well, like, not for like visual novels and stuff, but whenever you need to look up like a guide for like, an RPG or whatever, that's fine. But like, not this. Here's the thing. I'm just when you have when you've played through so many stories, watched so many movies, and are even a writer yourself, you kind of can assume the things that are going to happen. Now, I'm not saying the things that I've said are going to happen. I'm just assuming they're going to happen. Because that's how I would probably end up writing that situation. If people are telling me that for the whole time that this route is fucked up, which I know it will be, I mean, it's already kind of getting there, I'm going to assume the worst. Thus, I'm going to say they're going to be eating people and shit like that. It's just a thing. It's just a thing. Oh my god. But yes, I want everyone to know I never look shit up. It's way more fun to guess what's gonna happen than to actually know what's gonna happen until you play it yourself. You know what I mean? And that's what I'm doing. We're playing right now, and we're going back in. Fourth day in the valley. I'm fucked already. As expected, another hot one. As early as mid-morning, it felt about 90 degrees out, if not worse. Oh god. Spending time in the lush, humid jungle under such conditions would drain our energy surprisingly quickly, so we were told to limit our investigations of the area to the early hours of the day before the temperature has reached its peak. Investigating the area might sound nice, but to be perfectly honest, we were just foraging for food. Everyone had long since burned through the 3 days' worth of food distributed to us on the first night. From today on, the system was changing. We'd be getting our daily rations from the captain every morning. Oh yeah, that's a good idea. And that morning, she handed me a handful of rice. Less than a cup's worth. That and maybe a quarter of an onion. This was to make do for me and Kazuki both. I mean, rice is filling on its own. When I tentatively asked if this was supposed to be one meal, she firmly repeated this was for the day. It wouldn't have been enough for anyone, let alone young girls with growing bodies. We were expected to make up the shortfall by heading into the forest and procuring our own. As a result, most of us were forced to devote the majority of our active time to searching the woods for food. Fortunately, my partner, Kazami Kazuki, occupation student, had as small an appetite as her diminutive frame would suggest. And even when all I could offer was a thin gruel of rice and mountain weeds, she ate steadily away without a single complaint. You know, why complain? If anything, the problem lie in my direction, because you're like a big girl.
ダメだ。全然食べ足りないよ。
You'll be fine, Amane. It's okay.
アマネは体が大きいから基礎代謝が高い分、動かなくてもエネルギーを消費するものね。
Rip the dream. Kazuki glanced over as I sucked regretfully on the gruel-soaked chopsticks, gave a little laugh, and helpfully compared me to an American gas guzzler in human form. That's fucking cool.
私の食べ残しで悪いけど、食べる？
Wait,
それは和樹の分だよ。
she's like, bitch, I don't need to eat all that much. I was honestly all too eager to gobble down any morsel offered to me, leftovers or not. Even so, it would have been a dire mistake to accept Kazuki's kindness. If our pair was a body, I was the hands and feet, while Kazuki was the head. No matter how healthy the limbs may be, They can't move unless the brain's functioning.
いいよ。あとはお茶でも飲んで我慢する。
Just drink like a shit ton of... Go to that stream, drink a shit ton of water, and try to be full from that. Of course, our tea was nothing more than hot water flavored with onion skins. Ugh. It wouldn't fill my stomach, to be sure, but from what Kazuki told me, the skins were rich in antioxidants that would reduce the stress on my body, providing something of a detox effect. As I slowly sipped away at the reddish-brown tinted water, I looked around the campsite. Unsurprisingly, many of the others were sitting listlessly on their silver sleeping mats, their arms wrapped around growling stomachs.
ねえ、あれ放っておいていいの？
Oh, we are already fucked. It's over. It's donezo. Let the eating people commence. Sir, clearly I wasn't the only one longing for something to supplement for our inadequate meals. A group of 3 girls had sat themselves down in a tight circle with Sakuma Senpai at their center. They were playing cards with a deck somebody must have brought along, gambling for small snacks and pieces of candy they'd been secretly hoarding. It was a common sight lately.
まあいいんじゃない？みんな楽しそうだし。あなたも混ぜてもらったら？
Oh, Amane, you win all those candies, please. Bring them home. Kazuki put her hand in her skirt pocket and pulled out a single Whoa! How'd that even how do these chocolates survive in this heat? What the fuck?
軍資金は私が提供するから。勝ったら分け前は私とあなたで半分ずつ。いい？
She has a lot of faith in the fact that if we can win or not.
でも
負けた時はそうね。おやつ抜きってのはどう？
Ooh. Do you want Amane to die?
もともとおやつとかねえよ。っていうかどうして和樹がやらないの？
Well, no, because then they'd be like, well, that's not fair, because she's a genius, and she can statistics.
私が勝つと面白くないでしょ。それに私は怪我人の世話があるし。今は小出さんが一人で見ているけど、私がいないと不安らしいから。
こんな時に遊んでていいのかな？
I mean, we gotta do something. We can't just sit around and die.
こんな状況だからこそ、退屈すると悪い方へ考えが進みやすいし、ガス抜きは必要なのよ。無駄に動いてもお腹が空くだけだしね。それに、たかが遊びだなんて思っていてはダメね。私のペアである以上は、あなたには敗北は許されないわ。
Like, we're literally playing for food. Like, that's what we're doing.
たとえトランプ遊びといえど、不退転の心意気を胸に、他人を蹴落としてでも利益を得る覚悟で挑んでちょうだい。
I feel like none of this is gonna end well for us.
不退転。
踏み出したら振り返らない。それがルールよ。
よくわかんないけど、頑張ってみるよ。
確実な勝利を期待しているわ。
Oh, I'm concerned about this whole thing. Having said her piece, Kazuki turned on her dainty heel and walked off confidently.
確実な勝利ね。
I like the fact that Kazuki is like seemingly unaffected by anything that's happening. Like, it's just like, I'm good. Setting the bar a little high, aren't we? Well, I guess if you had talent like Kazuki, it might well turn out that way, but it seemed like a downright unreasonable expectation to place an ordinary person like myself. To place on an ordinary person like myself. There we go. Got it. Of course, if I had said as much to Kazuki, I'm sure she would have given me another talking to. Victory is secured only through the steady accumulation of effort and unflagging attention to minor precautions or whatever. I was pretty sure she'd already told me of something very similar, in fact. I'd actually been making something of a habit, jotting down Kazuki's words of advice over the days we'd spent together. Do your utmost to avoid placing yourself in a position where you'll be forced to rely on chance. When the time comes to use a card, play it without hesitation. Betray before you're betrayed. Yup. Once someone has betrayed you, never trust them again. That is my philosophy right there. Once someone betrayed you, you don't trust them ever again. Nope. Don't let anyone realize you don't trust them. Remember to chew your milk before you swallow. The fuck does that mean? Not that I really understood most of them, especially the last one. Chew your milk? Some kind of metaphor? Maybe? Whatever.
私も混ぜてもらっていいですか?
Oh boy, I still...
それは構わないけど、何かかけるものを持ってる?
Got this fucking Snickers bar over here.
チョコレートがありますけど。
へえ、君、まだそんなものを隠し持ってたのか?
Oh, don't even. It wasn't me. It was Queen Bitch over there.
いえ、別に隠していたわけじゃ。それにこれはカズキが持っていたものです。
Like the think in her skirt pockets, Kazuki just fucking just has all sorts of fucking shit that you could just pull out at any situation.
風見が? あいつ甘いものなんて興味なさそうな顔してるけど、こんなものを持っていたのは意外だね。
Oh, because she's a genius, you assume that she's not gonna eat sweets. Come on, she's still a person. I couldn't deny it seemed a little out of character for Kazuki to be carrying chocolate around. That said, at this point, I wouldn't really have been surprised if she pulled a pigeon out of a hat. She was clearly capable of anything, yup!
何にせよ、チョコレートは大歓迎だ。座りなよ。
We're gonna win all of it, and they're gonna get salty, and that's over.
はい。
I'm so scared. What should we do next? What's gonna become of us? How long before we can go home? Immediately after the fall, every word coming out of our mouths boiled down to a variation of one of those 3 sentences. But as of that morning, the litany of unanswerable questions had finally trickled to a halt. By our 4th day in the valley, we'd started to adapt psychologically. Harsh as our environment was, we had our tents to shield us from the elements and our sleeping bags to keep us warm at night. As we began to find comfort in such things, we were gradually growing calmer. With the provisions distributed on the first day gone, and our daily rations reduced to a bird's helping of rice, it was only natural that the topic of our conversation shifted from such vague anxieties to the concrete topic of food. Uh-oh. You know what that's gonna turn into? It's gonna turn into... I could really go for some fucking people meat right now. While studying the cards she'd been dealt, Kanata Senpai muttered those words to no one in particular, like some kind of prayer. She's just gonna fall out of the fucking sky, woman. Her love for Darien was well known to the team. When practice ended and the freshmen took orders for their obligatory snack run to the nearby convenience store, she'd always request something cheesy. What does that mean? Fucking just guess.
ないものは仕方がないだろ.
What if some cheese just actually fell out from the sky?
わかっちゃいますけど、先輩だって甘いものが食べたいって言ってたじゃないですか。
Well, you better play your hardest then. You gotta get whatever's in this pot.
甘いものは実際にあるじゃないか。キャンディーにガムにプレッツェル。それに見なよ。アマネがチョコレートを持っている。まさにカモネギじゃないか。
確かにチョコは魅力的ですよね。一番甘いですし。
Three sets of eyes focused intensely on my bar of chocolate. Felt almost like they weren't seeing anything else. For a moment, I physically cringed. Oh boy, that's how they're gonna look at us. Like, actually us one day, and I don't want it. If all 3 of them were to pounce at once, I would have been completely unable to defend myself. I don't know. As I bit my lower lip and swallowed nervously, Sakuma glanced up and abruptly burst into laughter.
心配ないさ。大丈夫だよ。
We're not gonna eat you or anything.
確かにここ最近苦くて渋い草ばっかり食べてるせいで甘いものに飢えているのは間違いないけど、たかがチョコレートで喧嘩を始めるほど私たちも子供ではないからね。
Oh, you say that now? Come back in like 5 days, and we'll see what happens.
ですよね。もしこの場に小沢先輩がいたら、それも保証の限りではないですけどね。
Wow. Isn't that the big one? As she spoke, Ibuki discarded a pair of cards from her hand. True enough, Ozawa wouldn't have handled this kind of situation well. Her juniors had called her the devourer demon behind her back for nothing. Insensitive as it seemed, I couldn't help but think her instant death in the bus crash had at least spared her from otherwise inevitable agony. Perhaps she'd been lucky in a way.
そういえばさ、小沢ちんのバッグどうなったの？
バッグ？
ほらあの子、いっつもバッグの中にぎっしりとお菓子を隠してたでしょ。あのバッグがあれば私たちしばらく甘いものに困らないんじゃない？
I'm sure we grabbed everything we did, or did he bury it? Did the teacher bury it with her?
先輩たちの私物はバスから回収した後、全部先生に預けましたけど。
Oh fuck, he did. Are we gonna dig? Oh my god. Don't. Oh, that's horrible. My thoughts. Are we gonna dig up the fucking bodies just to get their shit? Oh my god.
ということはやっぱり部長が管理してるってことか。
Or that. Maybe. I feel like he buried it with. I don't know. Just then, I glanced absent-mindedly at the chocolate bar in my hand and did a bit of a double take. Come to think of it, Kazuki was the one who'd retrieve Ozawa Senpai's belongings from the bus. Oh! Okay, we're good then. Could this possibly be something Kazuki secretly swiped from her bag?
どうしたマネ？君の番だよ。
Listen, does it matter anymore? Does it even matter? Okay, at least we're not just gonna be like, ooh, digging up your body, getting your shit.
はい、ごめんなさい。
Instinctively apologizing for literally no reason. I pulled the furthest card on the right from Sakuma's hand. She chuckled softly. I'd taken the worst possible card off her hands. Motherfucker! The Joker. If it's with you at the very end, you lose the game. What kind of game is this? For a moment, the smirking clown staring back at me from the cheap laminated playing card seemed to be wearing a Kazuki's face.
結局のところさ、食料を全部管理しているのは部長と小出のペアでしょ。彼女ら自分たちだけお腹いっぱい食べてるなんてことはないよね。
Oh, I would probably guess they probably are. Like, no, the captain at least, because she's a bitch. From the cards I offered her, Kaneda pulled out the eight of spades.
それはないと信じたいね。坂下はああ見えて責任感は人一倍強いし、自分だけ楽をしようとは思わないタイプだよ。
I don't know, man.
そうでしょうか。
Yeah, I don't know, man. That captain is... She's something else. Ibuki pulled a card from Kaneda's hand and discarded a newly formed pair onto the central pile. By this point, she had only 4 cards remaining.
坂下部長は責任感が強いというか、自分以外の場所に責任を転嫁するのが上手なだけですよ。私、あの部長苦手です。
出たよ。またブッキーの苦手ですだ。君はそうやって何でも嫌ってみるんだね。
Man, Ibuki's me. I just find just hating everything. As Sakuma Senpai leaned over toward her, Ibuki's cheeks flushed or slightly red. She thrust out the remaining 4 cards in front of her roommate's face, as if trying to keep her at bay.
そうやって簡単に信じてしまう方が善人なんですか？私は善人なんて嫌です。
Yeah, you gotta know the facts. You can't just No, I'm giving you all the food you can. Okay.
騙されて利用されて、それでもよかった、病気の子供はいなかったんだなんて言えるほど私は成人じゃありません。
Damn. Alright, Ibuki.
そういうとこかわいいなブッキーは。そろそろ髪切った方がいいね。前髪を切ればもっと可愛くなる。
余計なお世話です。私は好きでこの髪型にして、もう触らないで。
These fucking two, god damn it.
イチャつくのは二人きりの時にしてもらっていいですか？
No, I want to watch. Wrinkling her brows of trying to hold back an imminent sneeze, Kaneda flapped her hand in the air in a signal to get on with the game already.
うちのペアは小森が飼ってる犬がいるから余計な食いぶちが増える分食料の減りが早いんだよね。あの犬っころ生意気に雑草なんか嫌だって全然食べないし。
Then we'll just eat him. That's what's gonna happen, okay? We're gonna eat the dog and then people. I shouldn't be.
そういえば犬って肉食なんじゃないんですか？
雑食なんじゃないかな。うちの近所の犬なんか散歩の途中で道端に生えてる雑草とかむしゃむしゃ食べてるの見るよ。
Yeah, dogs eat whatever, literally whatever the fuck. Most dogs, anyway.
あ、それなんだっけ？肉ばっかり食べていると胸焼けするから食べるんじゃなかったっけ？
Oh man, I know about that heartburn or acid reflux.
でも今朝だって配給の玉ねぎ食べさせようとしたけど完全にそっぽ向いて見向きもしなかったよ。
That's because that fucking dog's a toy dog and he's spoiled rotten.
犬に玉ねぎ食べさせちゃダメですよ。犬に玉ねぎを食べさせると
Look,
貧血を起こすって言うじゃないですか。
listen. Survival.
そうなの？
Wait, is that even true though? I don't know.
チョコレートもダメだって言うよね。
Yeah, I know chocolate's not good for dogs, but onions? I didn't know that.
それこそ犬に食べさせるぐらいなら自分で食べますよ。
まあね。私も小森に同じようなこと言ったらさ、なんか責任感じたみたいで。犬が食べられそうなもの探すって今日も朝からずっと山の中を歩き回ってるよ。
へえ、トリュフでも見つけてくるんですかね。
Oh.
あれ？トリュフは豚が探すんじゃなかった？
I mean, you could. It helps, or another dog that can help look for it, or like just dig up at random.
何にせよ犬だけじゃなくて私たちの食べるものが問題ですよね。
We
このま
can.
ま雑草ばっかり食べててもそう長くは持ちませんよ。
Amane, we'll last as long as we need to, eating those fucking plants. Having waited 3 days, we could hold out another 7. That was Kotsky's estimate. We'd stay here for another week, sipping on weed soup. If our rescuers hadn't arrived by then, we'd have no choice but to go get help ourselves. I feel like we should. You know what? I don't even care. I don't want to gone in that forest. Most likely the captain was preserving a stock of food for that purpose, but when I said as much, Kaneda scowled dubiously.
でもさ、救助を呼びに行くってどうやって？
We're gonna get off our fucking ass, we're gonna go in that forest and just keep going straight until we maybe hit something or don't. As she spoke, Kaneda scratched irritably at the bandage wrapped around her forehead. The wound underneath must have been growing itchy due to humidity. Oh.
誰か一人代表者を決めてその人に水と食料を託して山を降りてもらうんです。
降りられるならとっくにそうしてるでしょうが。こんな道もないような山どうやって降りるのよ。どっちに進めばいいのかすらわからないのに。
Like, I feel like if you have really good directional ability, like I kinda do, in a sense of just where you're going. Like, if I go straight and keep going straight, I know where I'm going. I know, even if I'm like weaving around shit, I know that if I turn back, I would be just going back the same way that I originally did. But not a lot of people have that, so, you know, you just... But me, I just go straight or whatever. Just keep going. Hopefully you'll end up finding something.
だから部長と先生はそれを調べるために今も山に入っているんじゃないですか。
Yeah, sure. That's what they're doing. Yeah, that's cool. I bet you they're totally doing that.
責任者の自主的な行動って言えば聞こえはいいけどさ、それって無駄に食料を減らしてるだけじゃん。いっそのこと全員で別々の方向に山を降りればいいんだよ。
That'd be me.
だからそれは
Like, shit, man. We need to just get out of here. We didn't have nearly enough provisions for a gamble like that, and we couldn't just abandon the wounded. I mean, not abandon them, but eat them. No, we can't. We can't do that. No. There was only one practical plan. Endure as long as we could on these meager rations, claw open a path through the wilderness that trapped us here, hope all the while for the arrival of our rescuers, and then once our investigations yielded something in the way of landmarks, send off a representative with 3 days worth of food. When another 3 days passed, we could send off a second representative by following the signs the first had left to mark the surest trail. They should make it further down the mountain. Lashing one short stick to the next, slowly but surely we would draw close to our objective. This was an idea that had grown out of Kazuki's theoretical digital communication plan. If we could repeat this often enough, in theory we would eventually be able to escape. But there was no guarantees, and I found myself hesitant to explain.
喧嘩はやめましょうよ。それこそ無駄にお腹が減るだけじゃないですか。
I feel like I'd be the guy that's I'm leaving and just leave. Give me some food and like give me like bottled water or fucking something, and then I'm good. I'll trek it.
喧嘩なんてしてないじゃん。話し合ってるだけだよ。
Yeah, discussions usually turn to fighting when we're like heated, like in a sort of situation like this.
だったらその無駄にイライラした口調やめてもらっていいですか。アマネに八つ当たりしたって仕方がないでしょう。
You leave our little Amane alone. She's the timid one here.
私がいつ八つ当たりしたってのよ。
Whoa, alright, calm the fuck down.
金田、それに息吹もその辺にしときなよ。
We're a little antsy, we're a little pissed, getting a little aggressive because we have nothing. I've often heard that a calcium deficiency makes you prone to fits of irritability, but is that true? Oh. At that moment, although all our diets were badly imbalanced, the main course of our crankiness was clearly the constant gnawing hunger that we all shared. It's easy to be polite on a full stomach, as they say. In the end, we kept at our game of cards until Captain Shakishida and Mr. Ochi returned from their expedition. I finished with a so-so record of 3 defeats and 4 victories. Okay, when they come back from their, like, scouting, are they even telling us anything? Or we just are like, oh, I guess they scouted around. Well, in exchange for 3 of the 12 blocks of chocolate from my bar, I obtained 4 pieces of soft candy wrapped in aluminum foil. Wow, that's good. Against the contrast of my slightly dirty palm and muddy fingernails, those spoils of war looked irresistibly beautiful. I brought one to my nose and inhaled deeply. At the bittersweet scent of strawberry wafting through the wrapper, my mouth was instantly overflowing with drool. There were 4 candies in my palm. If I popped one into my mouth right now, nobody would ever know. It wouldn't even be a net loss to my group. I would have lost 3 small pieces of chocolate and brought back 3 comparable chunks of sugar. We need that sugar too. As my thoughts raced unbidden through these calculations, I swallowed the spit in my mouth, but as it slid lukewarm down my throat, I came to my senses with a guilty jolt. It would be dishonest, unfair, cowardly to eat one now, nothing less than a betrayal of Kazuki, and once I betrayed her, I would probably continue to do so. That was one line I couldn't
何か
cross.
悩み事あまね
Is that really betrayal? It's just like, I'm gonna take one of my pieces, and here you go. Here's your pieces, and we're good. Ah!
どうかした
ズッキあなた分かってて私をいじめているの
Oh, don't worry. I know what you're thinking.
何のこと全然わからないわ
Uh-huh, sure. It really seemed like a deliberately timed appearance on her part, but even if it was a coincidence, Kazuki's luck to appear at that exact moment would have been frightening in its own right. After one long, deep breath, I jerked my head down in a bow of apology.
ごめんカズキ私今カズキに内緒でつまみ食いしようか悩んでた
I was weak. I'm sorry.
あら正直そんなの黙っていればわからないのに
わからないからこそ汚い行為なんだよ
Props to Amane, though. She actually told her, you know. I held out the soft candies I'd won in the game and the remains of the chocolate bar to Kazuki. Cupping her hands gently over to receive them, Kazuki flashed me a satisfied smile.
大丈夫よそれができないあなただから私はあなたに全てを任せたのだからはいあんしなさいあん
Oh my god. I said say ah! Kazuki deftly unwrapped one of the candies she'd received from me, then plopped a small white pillow into my half-open mouth. Boop!
おいしい
The candy was unbelievably sweet to my tongue. My entire mouth was instantly flooded with the taste of sugar, and in the next moment it felt as though that vibrant sweetness was seeping into my veins and spreading throughout my body. That single piece of candy was so delicious I was actually trembling. Katsuki watched affectionately as I rolled my eyes up in bliss and swirled the candy clumsily around in my mouth, then popped another of the candies into her own mouth. And with the words, "Goodness, it really is tasty," smiled in pleasure.
でもこういった熱量食は一人でこっそりと食べた方が美味しいのかもしれないわね
What?
どうして
Yeah, what the fuck?
私の弟がそうだったの変に禁欲的というか好きなものをあげてもあまり喜ばないし後で一人で隠れてこっそり食べるの
Man, you're just a weird man. I mean, boy, at this point.
どうしてって聞けば下手に喜ぶと誰かに取り上げられるかもしれないし一人の方が落ち着くっていうのよね人間は喜んでいる瞬間が一番無防備だということをすでにあの年齢で知っているのだからさすがは私の弟ねそういう卑屈に歪んでいるところもすごく可愛いわ
なんだかわかるようなわからないような
理解しない方が幸せよ特に家族に対してすら不器用にしか生きられない人間はね
Family. That brief word resonated painfully inside me. It felt as though an icicle had unexpectedly pierced my chest at the core. What were my parents doing right now? Worrying about their missing daughter? Oh, probably. It was a little past 5 o'clock. Normally I would have been heading home from after-school practice right about this time. See, by now, all the parents, all missing their daughters, they know, you know, like, at this point, they know, they all would have probably, at least at this point, found out that they're all missing, all went to, and they all are part of the same basketball fucking training camp, so they're gonna put 2 and 2 together and be like, oh shit, something must have happened. I don't know, that's what I would assume. I tended to come home a little hungry from practice. The refrigerator would be packed full of sweet drinks. On the kitchen table, more snacks than I could possibly ever need were always there waiting for me. After a satisfying snack, I could head to the bathroom and take a long, luxurious soak in steaming hot water, then cool down with a cup of cold milk, idly distorting my voice in the electric fan while my mother prepared dinner. Without even asking, my parents offered me more food than I could eat. I accepted it without a second thought, often without even a word of thanks. That stupid, ungrateful ignorance filled me with bitter shame. But at the same time, comparing myself then to the filthy, frightened girl who just quivered ecstatically over a single piece of candy, I couldn't repress a surge of miserable self-pity. Oh.
あまね、どうして泣くの？
泣いてないよ。
She's crying without even knowing about it.
周りを見てごらんなさい。
As instructed, I looked around the area, only to find it deserted.
今はあなたと私しかいないわ。
There's no need to hold back. The instant those words left her mouth, I felt the tear glands swell up in the corners of my eyes. My self-restraint crumbled like sand, and I burst into violent sobs. Crying wasn't going to fix anything. Nobody was going to swoop down and rescue me, no matter how much I grieved over my powerlessness and ignorance. There were no do-overs to be had. What was done couldn't be undone.
帰りたい。私、帰りたいよ、和樹。
Shh, we all want to go home. Shh. Shh. Hiding my twisted, wretched expression behind the palm of my hand, I crumbled to my knees on the spot. Without a word, Kazuki drew near, wrapped her arms around my head, and hugged me against her slender stomach. Pathetic. Utterly pathetic. When I was still a child, there was a girl among the neighborhood kids who'd break into tears at the slightest thing. I remember thinking of her as a nuisance, a stupid, useless crybaby. If I weep, somebody will come help me. Somebody will take pity on me and solve my problems for me. The transparent self-interest behind her actions was just as irritating as the blubbering itself. And now, I'd become just a worthless, moaning crybaby, rubbing my runny nose against the belly of a girl considerably smaller than me, sobbing into her skirt. Listen, this situation would break a lot of people, alright?
ごめん、和樹。ごめんね。許して。
いいのよ、大丈夫。今すぐってわけにはいかないけれど、いつか必ず私があなたを家に帰してあげる。約束するわ。
Oh, Kazuki. Oh boy. As she spoke, Kazuki took one arm from around my head and began to softly stroke my hair. My family wasn't with me. There was no way such a pointless, clingy little breakdown could have been anything but irritating to anyone in this place. They were all suffering just the same. But even so, Kazuki didn't push me aside. She held me gently in her arms and accepted it all, offering me soothing, hopeful words. That kindness was painful in its own right, but at the same time, it felt like an irreplaceably precious gift.
和樹は辛くないの？帰りたくないの？
Turning my face up from Kazuki's belly, I met her gaze from watery eyes and mumbled a distinctly childish question. She gave me a little laugh, her stomach shaking lightly against me, and answered, "Don't worry about me. I'm a genius."
帰りたいかと聞かれれば、それはもちろん帰りたいわ。私がいないうちに弟が両親にいじめられてやしないかと思うと気が気じゃないわ。
closing a single eye, Kazuki furrowed her brow and pursed her lips.
こんなことになるのなら、小森さんが犬をそうしたように、私も弟をバッグに詰めて内緒で連れ込んでしまえばよかった。失敗したわね。
Oh, it's probably a good idea you didn't do that. No, I'm pretty sure that wouldn't have worked out well for you. With one final loud sniffle, I found my sobs had given way to a small burst of laughter.
天才でも失敗するんだ。
もちろん天才だって失敗はするわ。失敗を失敗で終わらせない人を天才というのよ。そしてそれに一生気がつかない人を凡人と呼ぶの。
天才も楽じゃないね。
私の苦労を思いばかる余裕が出たのなら、そろそろ泣き止んでいただける？大の男を腹で泣かせることができれば女として一人前だとは言うけれど、あなたは女の子だしね。そろそろ鬱陶しいかも。
優しくないな、和樹は。
それは心外だわ。私だってできることならあなたが泣き疲れて眠ってしまうまでベッドで絵本でも読んであげたいけれど、ここにはベッドも絵本もないのだから仕方がないでしょ。
Stop, don't remind us. Boy.
ごめんね。多分もう大丈夫だから。なんだろうね。自分でもなんで急に泣いたのかわからないよ。
Because it just all becomes too much for someone to bear, you know? It's hard.
流した涙はきっちりと舐めておきなさい。貴重な塩分がもったいないわ。それと
Oh fuck, we need to collect those tears now. Shit, man. Kazuki reached out, took my hand, and dropped all the remaining candy and chocolate onto my palm.
これはあなたに預けます。即効性の高い熱量食は貴重よ。私がいいと言うまで手をつけずに保管すること。いい？
わかった。
Yes, ma'am. Oh, are these candies how we're actually gonna live somehow? Oh boy. Wait, never mind. No. I was gonna say, like, because we didn't get all the candy, we just got some of it, but like, I was just like, what if we survive on this candy? When others are eating people? Oh my god. If Kazuki wasn't trusting me with such an important provisions, it was clearly she genuinely trusted me. I absolutely couldn't betray that trust. Biting my lower lip at this heavy sense of responsibility, I stared intently at the chocolate in my hand. Watching my reaction, Kazuki sighed slowly through her nose.
生真面目なのはいいけれど、責任と責任感を履き違えないことね。そうやって何でも我慢して耐えちゃう子は弟を見ているようで切なくなるし、そんな子は長生きはできないわよ。
責任と責任感って何が違うの？
負うべきものが責任、負わなくていいものまで追いたがるのが責任感。その境目を見失わないように。
Damn, Kazuki is just a fucking font of wisdom over here.
よくわからないけど、わかったふりだけしておくよ。
I don't get it, but I don't need to get it either. If Kazuki says so, that's the way it is. I was aware I'd taken the easy path and letting someone else think for me, but honestly, I didn't really care anymore. A clumsy idiot who tries to take a heavy burden on their shoulders won't achieve anything but catastrophic failure. I understood that just fine even before Kazuki drove the point home. For that very reason, I decided to disobey her orders without a second thought. Kazuki, told me I couldn't eat the candy without her permission. So I would sit on my haunches, slobbering like a dog until she spoke the magic words. If permission never came, I'd wait out for out the years and carry them to my grave. In this situation where nothing seems certain except uncertainty, the only one and only thing I had to come to believe in was Kazami Kazuki, occupation student. I kept the thought to myself, since I was well aware she'd only offer another sarcastic, "Might you be mistaking me for a god in response?" But at this point, I would probably have answered, "Huh? You're not?" That was what Kazami Kazuki had become for me. Oh my god. Ugh. Oh. I like that, oh, fifth day, dude. I like that little moment. Kazuki, I like Kazuki as a character, man. I really hope I am right about the whole her not dying thing. Like, I don't know. It's just. Uh, to me, it's just like she's getting. She's way more of a character than all these other fuckers are. And, like, they clearly put a ton of effort into her. Because, big sister of Kazami Yuji, occupation student. So, like, would they really end her here? I can't say for sure, honestly. I don't want them to. I want like for somehow Kazuki to just get out of this situation, even though it's been years and like she's presumably dead. So it's in my mind that I don't want her to be dead, but